Louis or Louis?
No wonder they canceled.
The right
Look at this crew. Huh? Look at this.
Where are you from?
This fucking motley crew. What's up, Maria? How are you?
E eu te devo carta mesmo. Também?
Maria, Maria, Maria.
Eu apresento
Jason is taught Yiddish and they're speaking Cuban, Spanish.
Welcome.
Is that thing running?
Yeah.
It's nice to have you all with us at 8 o'clock at night. I'm grateful for you being willing to join us. As I mentioned to you outside, I'm the president of III, or Honest Internet. Oh my God! It stands for Information Interpretation Intelligence. Three things that I do: develop communications programs and information, look at issues principally involving telecommunications, interpretation, and intelligence is the research process which we're involved in tonight. This is known as a focus group. This is a focus group facility, right? Market research is primarily a focus group facility. This is a focus group interview room. Have any of you ever been involved in a focus group before?
Yes, I have.
You have, okay. All right, so you know about all the little tchotchkes, as they say, involved in this little facility.
Yiddish kopshach.
Yeah, Yiddish kopshach. Just so that in terms of full disclosure from me, two little not so hidden microphones, so that we can record the session. And the reason we do that primarily is so that I don't have to sit here like a crazy zombie scribbling notes that I won't be able to read later on. I can concentrate on what it is I want to learn from you guys. And I'll have something to listen to because, trust me, I'm going to do a bunch of these groups around and about. And after a while, there's just a lot coming at you, and you need to be able to go back and understand it. Fundamentally, what this is all about is to find out how businesses are using or have used the internet, to find out kind of what the critical success factors are for a business when it comes to getting onto the internet, and to learn about the image of various internet companies that are out there, to learn about kind of how satisfied you guys are with internet companies, to kind of get a sense of the dimensions of your relationship with internet companies. And we'll give you a chance to take a look at some communications that we've developed that might be sent out to business customers to promote internet companies, and kind of get a sense from you of how effective that kind of communication might be. This, by the way, just one other little piece of information. This looks like a mirror, but it's not. It's a one-way. It looks like a mirror, but it's actually a one-way glass. Behind there are a couple of my associates who are very interested in what it is you have to say, but more partisans in a sense. And when focus groups were originally were created, this concept of doing group interviews, the associates of a moderator or a research firm would frequently be in a room, and that was good and bad. They could kind of get involved in the dialogue. That was the good, but the bad is they kind of can mess up a research process because they have a specific point of view. So they can be back there, and they may send in some notes, things with some things that they want me to ask you about, and I'll try to figure out a way to do that. It's just very, very helpful for them to be back there. They can kind of talk among themselves without disturbing us as we go about the business, trying to find out really what drives you in terms of the internet. We'll try to wrap up someplace around 9:30 or so. And by the way, if I fall asleep, I was at a wedding last night. I'm very tired. If I fall, just throw something at me, and I'll spring back to life.
Bagel.
Yeah, bagel. Yeah.
With socks on it.
Hey, for those of you who know local geography, you guys all had stuff out there. I have a turkey sandwich in the fridge from Shimto's. I still haven't had a chance to eat it, so what I got. Anyway, let's start off. I'm just real interested in getting a sense of who you are and the kinds of companies you work for and what those companies do. Yeah, why not? You look like a friendly guy, Louis.
Who's the cancel?
How do I pronounce your name? Louis?
Louis Barceló. Barceló. Yeah, I'm basically a mergers and acquisition person, organization person. make companies secure their loans. That's basically what I do.
What's the name of your company?
Well, Serve Oil Industries is one of them. We have like 25 companies in 2 public corporations.
Yeah. Okay. Adrian?
I work for Velasco Wholesale, mainly what we do is import and export, and that's basically it.
Okay. Louis?
I have a small company called Televoice Communications.
What's it called?
Televoice
Televoice.
Communications.
Okay. And what does it do?
And we're involved in anything to do with telephone services, including voicemail, fax, mail, and we have a feature called, which actually sends voicemail to internet. So when you read your email, you can actually see, listen to your voicemail too.
That's interesting.
That's very.
Who are your customers? Who are your customers?
Small and medium-sized companies, and of course single, professionals, individuals.
Okay.
I'm one of the owners of Laptops for Less, laptop computers.
Oh, you know.
Biggest pain in the ass.
Where are you located, Ben?
Okay, we just moved actually, we're in Kendall.
Yep.
Where's that downtown somewhere?
That is,
I'm dangerous. I'm a New Yorker who
Southwest Asia.
I managed to find out where to write market research.
That's the high class neighborhood of South Miami.
yeah, South Florida.
Southwest Miami.
Maria?
Okay, I'm part owner of a company, it's called APA International, and it's industrial and safety distributor for Latin America.
Equipment,
Yes.
hard hats and stuff.
Well, we present North and MSA.
Well, I got a big order of gloves you might want to help me out with.
Okay.
I love it.
Yeah, how about that?
Business.
And we'll have a network.
Pretty
executive.
girl here, isn't it?
I can just see it coming. Alex?
I've got several businesses. One is window film of all things.
Window?
Window film.
Film.
Yeah, window film. And I'd like to get on the internet to advertise and stuff.
Okay.
And I don't know how. The others in the export, I get into complicated things. Ships, airplanes, safety equipment.
Wow.
So I use the internet a lot finding things, looking up Thomas Registry, on the internet.
Really?
So I do use it, but I really don't know how to use it. I mean, I hate to say it.
Okay.
I'm an engineer and don't know how to use the internet.
All right, let's-
Yeah, well, my 11-year-old girl uses it better than I do.
That's what you need.
Okay, well, let's hold on. This is fascinating. Eddie?
I own a wireless paging company, Miami Beach, basically paging cellulars and stuff like that.
What's it called?
Beef Authority.
How old is this kid?
Yeah.
What are you on 7th Street?
No, 71st Street, Miami Beach.
Oh, up in the north.
Yeah.
TV. Great, okay.
So,
Ever in, you're selling cellular as well as beepers? PCS or just,
No, not PCS.
who do you represent?
Well, it took us, they're basically resellers for Bell South Mobility's Worldwide Mobilecom.
Okay.
That's what it
Neat. A lot of competition down here, brother?
No, it's just the area that I'm in isn't, they don't have a good, not most people have good credit standards, so basically we pay cellular,
Oh,
which is costly, nobody believes, most people get it for a month and that's the end of that.
it was nice to see some of the, was it Alex, is your cell phone off? I forgot. But,
Got to turn it off.
but it's okay. Mine, by the way, is turned on, just in case it should go off. I have a daughter. No, better than that.
Well, I'd like to have
Better
it
than
off.
that, Louis. I have a daughter-in-law who is, as they say in the trade, very pregnant. One never, so you may see, so if my phone goes off and I have a look of great expression, you see me head out the door while you,
No, I was going to ask you, I did send my family to Disney, so they're on the road.
what I got.
Do you mind if I turn it off?
Okay.
Sure.
No, you might get.
Just in case they have a problem, but you know,
No problem. All right, let's talk a little bit about the internet. I'm very curious about something. I'm interested in, I'm going to give you a little exercise. Let's just start off. Do me a favor, write your name on a piece of paper over here, these little pads. I have a little exercise for you. This is top of mind association games, word games as they say, in the research days. I'm going to give you a word. I just want to quickly write down your initial reaction to it. All right? First phrase, internet. What do me a favor, write your name and write at the top Group 2, so I know.
Group.
Yeah. There are no commonalities in names except for Maria. Just make life a little bit easier when I go through this thing later on from this group. And the other phrase I'm very interested in is electronic commerce. What does that mean to you? Electronic commerce. Does that ring any bells? Just, if you don't know what it means or you just have no concept of it, just write electronic commerce, nothing. Just so I know. Share with me some of the phrases that came out there. Louis, what did you come
You know what,
talking about?
Communications for the first one.
Okay.
And global transactions, business.
What do you mean by communication?
When you say internet communications, that's what it means to me. Internet is in between two parties or in between a lot of parties. So I think it facilitates communications between me and anybody that, especially with the internet, the whole world.
Sure. Maria, what did you write down?
When you said internet, I put information.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
That's what I mostly use it for.
To get information.
Get information.
You mentioned a site that you go to all the time. What was it, Thomas's?
Thomas Rich.
What is that?
Register. It's like a CD that you put in the computer and it tells you all the companies that have like, let's say I'm looking for Wajix, that's a fire equipment.
Okay.
You put it in, you put in the name, then it comes out, and you look for the company and you get all the information.
Is this a CD product or an internet product?
No,
I have a CD,
You have a CD, you
but
use it off the
it's
internet?
installed into the computer. I mean, it's there, but you can install the program to it, right?
Okay.
You have to install it.
Alex, what did you write down for internet?
Communicating on the information highway.
Okay.
And, I use a lot of Thomas, but I don't have the CD. I
Okay.
have 25 volumes of books that I don't open anymore because I get it off the internet.
Wow.
A lot faster.
Okay. Eddie?
Through Thomas?
But you don't have it?
No, I don't need it. It's
One-
on the internet free.
One
Take
small favor.
$500 for that
Time-
CD.
Time out. Really important, I did mention this up front. Real important. Have you ever listened to a tape of a group of people and a whole bunch of people talk at once?
It's not easy to understand.
Yeah, right. I need one small favor, one at a time, if at all possible. Save my ears. Eddie, what did you write down?
A web that links the world. It's a way of communicating from.
Anybody have anything to say about electronic commerce? Mean anything? Louis?
Yeah, interactive communication for trade and commerce.
Okay.
Right, yeah.
I would like advertising because you use it to interact with other businesses to be able to advertise to it.
Help me understand something about your businesses. Do your businesses now use the internet? Are you all on the internet today? You are, Louis. Tell me a little bit about how your business uses the internet.
Well, I use it to find clients.
Okay.
I use it to make a direct contact to a client that I need to let them know what I'm doing.
How do you do that?
I send them an email.
Email. Okay. So let me see if I understand. So the internet service you use most frequently would be email?
I use it quite often when I want to make a direct contact to a client so he can get my attention.
Okay. And how do you identify this client?
By searching for what is it that I'm looking for that can meet the requirements of what I can supply.
Okay. And is, Pedro?
Okay,
How
yeah.
do you use the internet? Are you on the internet?
Okay. We took off the internet about 2 weeks ago. Mainly we used it for searching information with suppliers and other suppliers from other countries. Also to advertise in the boards. They have certain boards that you could advertise on it. It was some sort of research going on. And then we provided the email or email address to all those companies, and we are receiving a lot of emails, so we disconnected for a while.
Okay.
That's a smart move.
Yeah.
Do either have a
That's
website?
really
Do you have a website? Do you have a website?
I have one called Fusion.
Okay.
raising $20 million at the time for a new technology that would eliminate fission, nuclear fission. That'd be a fusion technology that was the federal government put $22 million into. With University of Gainesville and University of California. And we were raising $20 million. So we finally got the money.
So you had a website, okay. Pedro, you have a website?
We had a website, and we took them off, but yeah, it was very efficient.
Well,
Which question?
how are you using it?
Too many
Research
emails.
emails for research.
What an idiot.
Research a company and see their email.
Well, you know what? That's why he's here for $75, because
Specific word.
So, Adam.
Yes, I have a website. I had a very bad experience with a company called Icanect.
Oh, yes.
We'll talk about specific companies in a while.
Okay,
Right now, I'm
that's
interested in
our
our
website.
Hold on. I'm interested in knowing right now, but the way in which you're building, and the way in which your business is using it now. We'll talk about, I have some various ways of finding out, you know, the extent of your satisfaction with internet companies.
Caught Jay off guard.
The way I mentioned that name,
Okay.
which I don't know anybody here, but
Okay.
I was very excited to get into the net and develop a website. And I paid this company, and so I was never able to fully get into it because the whole time was under development and they never delivered what I paid for. And so finally I said, okay, let's cut it here, move to a different company. And so right now I don't have any website, but yes, I have had experience with it.
We'll talk about that in a little bit. Jose?
I just recently got on the internet again. I went through, and now I have my own domain name. I do have a website. We're using it mostly to attract customers in other countries and exporters, people who want to buy wholesale. So mainly we're using it more as a storefront, and also I use the internet to find other distributors that I can send information to.
When you use the word storefront, what do you mean by that?
A storefront on the web, well, they can check out prices, what products I have available. If somebody's looking for something refurbished or wants to buy in bulk, they can just look up what I would have in stock specifically, not specifically, but I give them an idea of what name brands I carry. And they can email me and ask me if I have something in stock.
So the word storefront is a word that has resonance to you.
I want to be able to push my site as a storefront, yes, that's what I would use it mostly for.
Good. That's actually very valuable information. Maria?
Right now I'm just using it for email. I mean, the email is all I'm using between the clients and us.
There's a phone back
But
there.
we had a similar experience with Icanect. We never got it. I mean, we never got it. We paid for it, but we never got it. So we don't have it right now.
Okay, back to that section. Alex?
Well, I don't have a website. I'd like to.
For a freaking appointment, that's what
I'd like to
happens.
advertise, especially product. And I do use it for email and I do use it for searching for things.
Okay.
I do have a webpage. I use the internet for like selling parts wholesale as far as paging parts or whatever, like accessories and what have you. I do have a webpage.
How important is the internet to you guys in terms of business?
In terms of business right now, it's not a big importance. I mean, I use it to like to find information out like through Motorola has a has their own website, and through the website you can get information like manuals and schematics and what have you, parts. So yeah, I think that would be the most important part.
How important is the internet to you guys?
I think it's extremely important. It's like saying how important television is. You're in an information wave. You're in an information ride. You have access to everything.
How did you guys go about selecting an ISP service provider? How did that whole process occur? Did the provider come to you? Did you go to a provider? How do you find that? How does this whole process work?
Well, let me give you experience on how they came to me.
Okay.
Apparently, the provider that he was talking about was looking for a loan,
Okay.
and that's my business.
He's a liar.
I help people secure loans,
Okay.
and I met these pompous people, and I couldn't get them to respond to how to apply for a loan. They had a nice business plan, but they had no business sense. The smartest one there was the woman. You know what that brings you? Find the brought that woman.
Congratulations.
Absolute genius.
Gee, I feel so flattered.
But,
He just called you an absolute
they
genius.
were having problems because they weren't geared up properly. Then you have the T1s, then you have these things necessary. But anyway, that's how
Give me
they
a
came
pen.
to me by way of
I said there should be a cyanide button right here. Release poison gas into the room.
How do you go about selecting them?
Freddie, you just missed it. For about like 10 years or so. It was,
You're missing it. Get it.
I knew information about who the owners are.
You're a genius.
I read it based on the size of the company.
Congratulations.
On the other ISPs, I thought they were the most solid because they had enough customers. They used to have a telecommunication company which they sold, and you know, I thought they were a solid company. So that's how I rated them. I decided to go with them, and I paid them to design my website. And this went on for a lot of months. They never delivered, and finally, I went to somebody else.
Okay.
But
What side is it up?
based on the size of the company
His dad
and the
canceled.
number
Oh,
of
he's
customers.
canceled. What side is it up?
Still not.
Okay,
He
Maurice,
doesn't have a.
how'd you go about selecting a
They,
service provider?
we got it through our freight forwarder. He was the one that recommended these people to us.
Okay.
So that's how we got it.
All right. Jose?
When I had it personally, when I was paying for it, right now I'm not. That's why I have my
Okay.
provider now. But I look for whoever gives me the quickest service online.
What does that mean?
It doesn't take too long to get to a certain site. I don't have to wait because there's too many people on at once. When I'm downloading something, I get it right away. They have something faster than a 14.4 and the server on the other side.
Okay.
I try to look for the fastest, but the reason why I'm using mine now is because the representatives from that company leaves brochures, flyers, and stuff, and gives me free internet access. So.
Say a little bit more about that. The representative leaves brochures and flyers. What kind of brochures and flyers?
Their internet service, it's MindSpring.
Okay.
They leave brochures. They want me to push to a company, so because of that, they give me.
So do you have a partnership? So like,
No, I don't. We don't have a partnership or a contract, or I don't get any. I don't get any commission, I guess,
Okay.
as to somebody that were to sign up because they see a brochure in my office or not.
Pedro, I don't think I picked on you.
It's okay. It's okay. They came to us. They sent a representative there, and they painted the whole picture beautiful.
And what happened? Okay. And what happened then? I'm afraid to ask.
Yeah, it wasn't the service wasn't what they promised.
Jay,
Yeah.
if I,
Who, Pedro?
Let me see if I can tell you what will be helpful to me and what won't be helpful to me. I don't need to go into extraordinary detail as to, all the nits and gnats about what went wrong. I need to get a broad sense, of some of the frustrations that you experienced. I'm interested in understanding what are the critical success factors in terms of customers' relationship with an internet company. That's what
I
I'm
said
saying.
one more thing.
Sure, absolutely.
Like Jose said, also one of the reasons that I went with this company is because I was hoping that a bigger company would give better customer support in terms of tech support.
Uh-huh.
And then once I signed up, it was like a callback that was supposed to be like 1 hour or so, and it became, they always call when the office was closed. And if I put the call in the morning, they will never call during office hours. And they say, oh, we called, but they actually never called. So tech support that was an important feature, an important variable in choosing an ISP. And I was hoping that with a bigger company you will get better tech support, and that never happened. So,
I'm getting ahead of myself. You guys are advancing in the process. Let's just move on. Talk to me about the difficulties you had getting online. It's apparent to me that you've all had some difficulties in getting online. And that seems, in listening to you, you've all had some problems. Tell me a little bit about that.
I use America Online because my kids got in there a long time ago. We have like 5 or 6 accounts for them.
Did you ever have any problems with it, Al?
There was a little period there a while back when they mushroomed so big, so quick, when they took that special out for all you can eat for $19.95. Yeah, that slowed it down quite a bit for a while, but they've got over it. I'm getting in real quick.
Maria?
Yeah, I have an online version now too.
You're on AOL?
Yeah, and it's working out, right now it's working out very good.
I'm curious, you're just using them basically for basic internet access,
Only
email and
email,
stuff like
right
that?
now, only email.
What about, you guys seem to have some problems. I was
Yeah,
hearing from you, just
I have-
general terms. I gather that the sense of it was that you signed a deal to get web pages built and nothing much happened after that point?
Isn't that a different question now?
That's a different question. You want to stay on the other question?
Well, you guys are kind of moving me along. So
All right, let me go back to the other question,
All right, fine.
because I had a problem. I have 2 computers at home,
Okay.
in case one goes down. So I had a problem with my computer not accepting the comeback. I used to get to the billing department of OAL, but it wouldn't come back onto my computer. And then I finally changed my jumpers, and then I finally got in, but then it used to kick out. So I found out that I had to change something else. Being a technician, I know a lot about the computers. I do my own repairs. So then I had to change the jumper from my controller. So I had to, there was a lot of things, then finally I got it, now it's staying, now it's linking in. So I found out that a lot of people don't know that they have a technical
I
problem
think so.
with their own machine.
I'll give you 10
That's
to
why
1 on
it
you
kicks
guys.
out.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thanks for answering the question.
Okay.
That's all.
Hold on. Let me take you back to where I want to go here. Let's talk about the difficulties that some of you guys had getting online. Again, I'm looking from, particularly from a business perspective.
All right. The problem we had is we had they started building the page. They built half of the page, or I mean, it was accessible. You tried to look for it and you couldn't find it. It was in no place whatsoever.
What do you mean by that?
Okay, if somebody tried to look for Velasco in the internet, to look for the page Velasco, it was nowhere to be found.
Okay.
So people kept on calling and that we weren't on the internet, and actually for business was bad, because if we wanted to use it as a storefront, it was nowhere to be found.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we decided to take it off, because it was of no use anyway.
What was the process like in terms of just getting the page designed? Did that work out okay?
It wasn't so bad, because we are persistent.
Okay.
We kept on calling 3 or 4 times a day
Wow.
until they, to get rid of us, they decided to do it. But because we're persistent, otherwise it wasn't going to be done.
Do you have a sense of, does the client in this relationship have a role in terms of supplying materials, and what's your perception of that, Pedro?
We supplied the pictures that we wanted on. We gave the ideas of what we wanted on, even though they changed a little bit the design that we had. But mainly we took it off because it was not for what we needed.
Louis, what happened with you?
Well, I had a whole strategy which was including the internet website and all that. Based on that, I registered like 3 or 4 domain names, and which were supposed to be linked to the same website. I gave them the infrastructure or the structure of how I want to design. I could provide them with the information. Basically, all they had to do was build the skeleton of the website, and then later, when to finalize, I would provide the text. I provided a, in the meantime, type of text, but not exactly the final copy. They were supposed to register the domain names and the website in all kinds of what they call search engines and all that. They never did that. The website was never built. So in other words, I put all those things in my business card, and nobody could ever get to me, or it actually caused me a lot of harm, because I had something, I was advertising something that I didn't have, and I lost a lot of customers, and then having to call and wasting the time to call these people and say, yeah, we're gonna take care of it, fax us these changes.
Let's analyze this now, help me out. Okay, so you guys had some trouble getting on. So let's analyze it. What, if you had it, you're gonna do it again. What are the things you're looking for in your relationship with an ISP that really matter in terms of getting that thing up and running? Yes, sir.
Yeah, that when you do get on, once they find you, of course, that you must get onto the 200 search engines or 250 search engines as quickly as possible. It takes 6 months to a year to get onto all the search engines. You get on the first 4 within a few weeks, but to get on the ones that you need and the more essentials to you.
And the responsibility for that rests with?
Right.
Rests with the internet company, correct?
That was the responsibility of what you paid for as a service to you.
Okay.
Yes, the internet company.
Pedro?
Yeah, that's good also, and also I believe that it will be good to have a good relationship with the person that is handling your account, because sometimes, most of the time when I call them, they couldn't help me, or an answering machine was the one that answered my call. And to tell you the truth, you leave the message on the answering machine, they never call you back, or they call you back when you're out of the office already.
Eddie, have you got any instincts, anything to add here?
Well, as far as Icanect, I had the same problem as you guys with Icanect. Sorry, I don't mean to.
It's okay.
What
kind of problem?
I paid for the web page. It was put up, but I asked that. I mean, they just like gave me pictures, and they just put the pictures and the text. That's it, like not the text, but like just whatever the picture was. And then like, I didn't. It wasn't a web page about my company. It was just a web page about the pictures I gave them.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
And then I looked up. I didn't say.
Critical factor. What's the critical factor, Eddie? In other words, what's the critical factor in terms of your relationship with an ISP getting online?
Well, as far as getting online was also software for to actually get on the internet. They just gave me this thing, and I didn't know what to do with it. Before when I started off with computers, when I got into it with Icanect, and they just gave me this to say install this, and that's what I did. I didn't bother with tech support or anything. I just did.
About training? Did you get any training?
No training.
Did they offer any training?
Not that, as far as I know, they never offered.
So far as you know, there was no training offered. How important is training in this whole process?
Very important.
Okay. Have you, do the ISPs you guys deal with provide you with any kind of training?
No.
None of them.
Well, I haven't worked on
How
that.
valuable would training be?
Tremendous.
Okay. If an ISP were to offer training, would that be a factor in differentiating that ISP from others?
Mayor?
Yes.
I think that if you offer training in a contract that gave you not only training, but gave you a service and gave you a technical assistance, I think you make a lot of money with that right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, so let me follow up question if I might, and I want to hear from others. Would you pay for that training? Would you be willing to buy
Absolutely.
it?
On a yearly contract, I think you could sell, it's worth at least $150 a year, something like that, right?
How about Maria? Let me listen.
I think we really need it, because I know there's a lot of things on the internet that we don't know how to get to, a lot of information we don't know how to get to.
What kind of training would be helpful to you?
Basic to begin with.
Exactly, learn how to learn how to get information that's available that I wouldn't know how to get it, and anybody in my office doesn't know how to get it.
Okay.
And I know it's there, but we don't know how to get it.
What about, Louis?
But what's a good, how good can training be if the product that the SP is selling is not good?
Okay.
Like the first set of diskettes that I got from Icanect and the second one and the third one never had the proper files to install the program so that it would run with the version of Windows or with the version of set of programs that I had in my computer. So
That's right.
if you made that very straightforward and very easy to install, you could avoid a lot of need for training. The training is, of course, is important.
What about training in terms of web pages and, you know, the
That's-
business approach to the internet?
That's what I'd like to
Like
see.
HTML editing?
Say what?
HTML
I don't know,
editing?
you tell me.
Well, I mean,
What's valuable to you?
I mean, I guess it's not something that anybody can do. HTML editing, you gotta know a little bit of DBase for it. It's not, you know, you can't just sit there and say, I wanna write this on the internet.
Okay. Alex?
Yeah, I'd like to be able to get on there and advertise and be able to change it, you know, as things change.
Such as price
On the
list.
page, yeah, price
An
list.
item that you sell.
Okay. And you don't know how to do that today?
No, I have no idea.
I'm sorry, what do you mean, like if you
Interact.
say you want, you have let's say you have your webpage and you have a special and you want to change it because you have.
Put it up and be able to,
Wonderful.
be able to add,
Yeah,
change it
that'd be
yourself with passwords, I don't know, codes, whatever.
Have the ability to change your webpage, you know,
Yeah,
put like.
especially
That'd be
this week.
great.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys have any sense what you'd be willing to pay for something like this?
I'd pay $700 a month. Without any-
Several hundred a
I
month for
wouldn't-
training, for this kind of stuff?
Wouldn't even hesitate. And, I mean, for the service.
For the service and this kind
And
of support?
yeah, I wouldn't even hesitate.
Any idea?
I mean, I don't know what the value on. I kind of learned it on my own.
Let me give you an idea about one company that I know that's doing it,
Okay,
okay? It's a company out of Las Vegas, Nevada,
yeah.
all right?
Figures.
No, they get you on 200 search engines, and they provide you with all the training and everything to keep you in there and gear you strictly towards the business world. They're charging like $3,000
A year.
for the year.
Okay.
It's not far.
3,500.
What's the name of that company, by the way?
I don't have it here,
Okay.
but I have it there.
Send me an email.
Send me an email.
I'll give you my, yes, Al.
Well, I'm trying to say,
Well,
maybe it's not something that, like, you know, like me or anybody else should know. Maybe it's something that the ISP should provide, like, at no additional cost, just, you know, to sit there and add a little bit of extra text on your webpage that, you know, you're running your next page, or you want, you know, maybe they should give you like, okay, you're allowed to change your webpage once a month or twice a month, whatever it is that, you know, if you case you want to run these specials.
Okay. Let me just play it, but let me pick that up. For those of you who've had web pages or have web pages, have you ever changed them?
Yes, I did.
You changed your web
I
page?
changed mine 3 or 4 times because I had to change the board. We had an election. We had to change the board of directors,
Uh-huh.
and then we had to give them the new names.
Did you ever change the concept? No, it's like an advertiser would develop a campaign and they change, you know, based on the thing just wears out, you change the campaign?
I didn't have any problem with my changes. When I told them that I wanted to change, I just typed in the text, mailed it in. What I did is I took the guy to lunch that I needed on my side. So I had this guy
Always works.
with me.
Yeah.
I go him and, hey, don't forget to move that. And by the way, I got another lunch for you. Come on over.
Okay.
We tried to change it and it was hard. It was hard. It was difficult to change anything.
Tell you what I do, let's get you writing again. I wanna have some fun. I wanna get a sense of image of various internet companies. I'm gonna give you some national companies, I'm gonna give you some regional companies, I guess some local companies. I wanna just get a sense, just write down the name of the company and write down the, you know, just the word that kind of word or two that comes to mind to describe that company for me. Okay? We'll start with everyone's favorite AOL. Just based on the comments that you guys fed to me.
I had one that was taken by AOL, which was CNN. GNN was taken by, they were excellent. That was
Okay.
excellent.
Errols, E-R-O-L-S, Errols. If you haven't heard of them, just write down Errols, never heard of them.
Which one was
Errols, E-R-O-L-S. CompuServe?
Your question is, have we heard of them? Or
No, what comes to mind when I mention?
Oh, I see.
What words come to mind in terms of describing that company? Icanect?
think everybody here's played with Icanect.
Mind Spring?
Which one?
Mind Spring.
M-I-N-D,
Yep, S-P-R-I-G.
one word?
One word.
That's the one, old Italian guy on 94.9 talks about every morning.
Yeah,
What's 94? Help me out, guys. I'm a New Yorker. I'm not at all
Okay.
familiar with what you're talking about.
That's a
What's
good-
94.9?
He's a good DJ with a talk show in the morning. He
He
advertises.
talks about 94.9.
Yeah.
Anybody else ever talk about
Mind
down here?
Spring.
WIOD.
Paul Castro.
Who does?
WIOD.
What's WIOD?
That is an AM,
It's a news station.
Okay.
Very good.
They talk about it as well? Okay.
They get good
It's
advertising.
a news.
It's
Um,
talk entertainment, right?
Cybergate?
Seen billboard.
Go fast.
Yeah, go
Keep
fast.
speeding or something.
Get your speeding ticket up here.
What's that all about?
They're on billboards. They say,
On the
"Sir,
highway."
are you speeding or are you going fast enough or something on the highway?"
Just don't slow
Yeah,
down.
don't slow down.
That's cute.
Good way to get a ticket.
That's cute.
Just tell them this. You read this.
What does that say to you about, well, let's come back.
Okay.
Let's see, I gave you Cybergate, Miami Herald.
I get them every day.
Yeah, as a newspaper. What about them as a, they're in the internet
I've
business.
never tried them.
I stopped reading them.
Stop reading. What do you read?
I read things that make money.
Oh, okay.
New York, what is it?
Okay. Let's just spend a couple of minutes. I'm curious to see some of the words that emerge and some of the ratings that emerged, some of the companies. We won't go through them all. CompuServe, what'd you guys write down for CompuServe?
I wrote it. Just it's not that easy to get an account with them. It's a lot easier to get an account with other people.
Not easy to get an account with
Like
CompuServe.
like as long as when you get the software, like the free software. I tried it the first time. It was so much of a headache. I just
Okay.
didn't go for it.
Jose, what'd you write down for
I really
CompuServe?
don't know much about
Okay,
CompuServe.
fine. Pedro?
I had very little experience. I had it for a month, and
fine.
it was so complex to
Yeah,
to
it's too long.
to get into it. I decided to leave.
MindSpring?
On CompuServe.
Yeah.
CompuServe, excellent service.
What do you mean by that? Talk to me
That's one
about
of the
that.
first people I was involved with in New York, in computers. CompuServe was.
Excellent service. Tell me more about that. What made it excellent? What were the factors that led you to say excellent service?
Well, I had access to everything that I needed in the business world. It's a business-oriented
Okay.
service.
So in other words, it was excellent service in terms of the content of the
The
service.
content is.
What about the service from the people who ran CompuServe?
I didn't have any problem with that.
Did you have any contact with them?
He took them to lunch.
Didn't have to
Yeah.
have contact with them. I just got on the service, got what I needed, and didn't have to make contact with them. It was there, readily available.
Fine. Okay. So in other words, it was easy to use, it worked, and it had the kind of information you were looking for.
Sure.
Is that what you were looking for in an ISP?
All the time,
From an ISP?
absolutely.
Okay. What about in terms of positioning your business? Would you consider using CompuServe to position your business?
They have their limited capabilities as well. They're not as broad, worldly, for a better word, as what I need, as my needs.
What are your needs?
My needs are worldly. I have to be in contact with, right now we're in contact with China. The new president is a friend of mine. I'm in contact with South American government, heads of states. And,
Electronically?
no, not electronically, on a personal basis.
Okay.
From people who I'm connected with electronically.
Let's see, we talked about, did we talk about MindSpring? I'm kind of losing my mind here.
Yeah, go ahead.
MindSpring. Anybody write down anything about MindSpring?
Not familiar.
I've heard of it, but
Never.
I don't
Some
know.
company you guys talked about the radio station, no more than
Yeah, I've never tried them.
Cybergate, anything more than that?
Never tried them.
I've tried them.
So you've tried them, talk to me about it?
They're reliable as far as an ISP goes, but the same thing with the software. It's just
What makes them reliable?
no, the connections that I would always, I never had like busy phone calls or anything. The one thing I did notice that they had poor billing. One thing I don't like is people send you a bill through your email, and a lot of times I never check my email, and before I know it, I had 3 or 4 months backed up on my email just because I never got the bill.
Oh, okay.
And that was one thing. But it's, reliable as far as when I would log in, it would be busy all the time, stuff like that.
Okay. Let's see, AOL?
I like AOL. You know why? Real short email address. tintex@aol.com.
Interesting.
That CompuServe is too much writing, MindSpring is too much writing. The shorter the better.
Yeah.
I don't like AOL putting something on before I get to my subject matter. Get all that stuff off the beginning.
Oh, yeah,
And
that's
then you
right.
get to my subject, I'm busy, I got every minute counts.
Okay.
Well, no, I was gonna say about AOL, right now I'm an account with AOL, but one thing that is not good about them is that you can't have your own email name, you can't have your own, you can't put your own domain name. You could, but then they go through a company, use Prime Host, I guess it's a subsidiary of theirs.
Icanect?
Very bad.
No comment.
No.
No comment.
I
You
do
guys
not,
are-
I
I
do
get-
not
you guys-
connect.
Okay. You guys are all former Icanect customers, correct? Okay. Is there anything that, I'm interested, not so much from Icanect's perspective, but from the perspective of people who have dealt with change. One of the issues we're looking at here is churn. You know, you're here, one of the reasons you're here is that you've changed internet companies. And I'm interested in understanding a little bit, I mean, I get a sense of why you've changed, that's fairly obvious. Although I'm not so sure I understand, Alex, exactly whether you've changed and if so, why.
I never, you know, I gave Icanect, I only gave him $210, and that's all I lost.
And what was that for?
Supposedly to start your webpage.
Okay, that never happened?
No, I finally backed out and asked for my money back, never got it back, you know, so I got a short experience with them.
Okay.
Wasn't very expensive.